not everyone is as outgoing to state their opinions, right? So I think it's very, very important to reach out one by one and have those one-on-ones. Something that we made a pivot in Q4 with our team members. You know, we introduced one-on-ones, right? And it's probably for us, we're like, well, duh, that's what we always done, one-on-ones. But you'll be surprised in some organizations, it's not a structured kind of initiative, right? To have a structured one-on-one, go over your results, your performance, et cetera, et cetera. So that's something that we've done in 2020 is make sure that we listen to calls, we go over sales technique, we go over, hey, did you hear that buying sign? All of those type of things, right? However, as we approach Q4, kind of a pivot that I wanted to make with my managers is I wanted them to not focus on the result, not focus on the metric, not focus on anything really that has anything to do with work. I wanted your one-on-ones to be based on strictly how are you doing, right? So we're 6, 7 months, etc., into the pandemic, everything that's going on. This is strictly a mental check. This is strictly for me to understand how you are and how can I help you. And let's just talk, right? Let's just talk. It doesn't even have to be about work. And the response that we received from that from our team members was great. I think it really helped propel our results forward into Q3. And then as we're finishing up Q4 here now, our company is performing at record heights, in our organization that we've never seen as a company. And I think it's because the level from top down, right, of our CEO and the way that she really, really checks and feels about our people, but also trickle down to our COO, our VPs, etc., all the way down to our team members. It's truly a togetherness, and we care about the person, not just a result. So
if people, and it's been said a lot better than I could ever say it right now, but if people believe that the company cares and that their leaders care, they'll run through a brick wall for them. Something else you just said is about results and metrics. There's far too much talk about results and metrics anyway. Results and metrics help you diagnose a situation and process. And people and process are the two things that matter most. Both have to be sound. So even if you look at a metric that isn't there, and you tie it back to process and say, well, this is where in this call, maybe this went awry. If they're not feeling it and they're grappling with a bunch of stuff that we don't show that we care about, then it doesn't matter what we do over here. And so more than ever, we were talking about it before, it's like a stock portfolio. You've got to make sure you're investing in these different areas. You arm your people with everything you can. I've got an old analogy that when you agree to work together, it's a business contract. You've got to, the company agrees and the leaders agree to provide the training and the materials and the blueprint for success. And you agree to be the person that you promised to be on interview day. It's really that simple. And during the relationship, there's checks and balances. Sometimes the company doesn't deliver. Sometimes you don't deliver. But together, collectively, hopefully you get to where it needs to be. Now, the X factor in all that is the people factor. And that's the one where it requires a concerted effort to just care, to check in like you're doing, to actually talk about what's on their mind. It's always amazed me when I've worked for places or when people have worked for me where there's that level of understanding. Their wives' names, their husbands' names, their kids' names, where they vacation. You talk about different components and elements of life. And those types of relationships, they are the ones that last and that transcend. I think it's important that as well, that we as leaders invest in understanding, like, where do these people want to go? What do they want to do in their career? You were talking about that before. We're nothing if we're not looking for ways to help other people. I feel very fortunate in a year like this because I've been good from a career perspective, but I've spent a concerted effort really trying to find how can I connect people that might be open to work, that are looking for work. How can I connect them with people who are hiring? And I've made more of a concerted effort this year to do stuff like that, because that's an area that I feel I can invest, and it's an area where I think I can have an impact. And so, I challenge people in this time, if you're in a good spot, look for ways that you can help other people, pay it forward, invest in those types of relationships. I think that kind of stuff is critical. We'll